So someone has wronged you. Yeah, it wasn't your fault, it was their fault, they've wronged you. But because you are all into justice and you want to redeem your ego, you may feel that you need to have some animosity towards them. Or in fact retaliate in the same manner that somebody else has retaliated to you. Or acted, sorry. Now, what I've come to realize, as we all have subconsciously, is that when it comes to curses, yes, curses, because they are real, you will nullify the curse of a cursor if you yourself step into their arena. So what happens is that when you are strong in your faith, in your spirit, in your path, and you actually have awakened, you haven't simply become aware, you actually have woken up, you're awake. Now, because you are so aware of alchemy and synchronicity, that is, we are all shape-shifting as one, be it at different times and different places, you have to be very well aware of the law of attraction and karma. So if somebody does wrong you, they have cursed themselves. Just by the pure fact that when it comes to egos are separate. So when an ego takes away from the divine whole through whatever means, normally through malice, they owe the universe. That's the curse. But just to give you the visualization, let's say I'm walking down the street right now. I'm on my way home. I cross paths with somebody. They may actually abuse me verbally. Now, if in my heart, whether or not I express my anger on the outside, it doesn't matter. If in my heart I am upset or angry, which is normal and that will occur anyway when you're practicing alchemy, but the difference is the embracing of that emotion. When you're going through times, through life, you're gonna start realizing as you awaken more and more that you actually control your state. Not that the state controls you and you hope for the best. No. So the person abuses you and walks by you. You never see the person before, you'll never see them again. But they've cursed you, so they've put a mark on the divine whole from their ego. Now, somebody who knows better would not embrace that lower thought in their heart. Nothing extreme, just, having that lower thought in your heart. But if you didn't know and you did embrace the lower thought in your heart, what you have now done is nullified that person's quote-unquote curse. So a curse nullifies a curse. So a good man would show love to the one who curses them, not necessarily expressing it outwardly, but on the inside, because that's the most important part. Everything is born within before it comes without. So on the inside now, if you show love, show pity, because that person is in a bad state that they can abuse you, who is part of the divine whole, what happens then is that they will get their karma. They will get their so-called curse. We like to think of curse and karma as negative things. They're not. They're simply effects. Because whether or not we like to believe things are as they are. So the effect. As a good man, you're abused. That's why Jesus said, turn the other cheek. You're abused. You leave it. That person will come to know what they did to you was wrong. On the other hand, and a lot of people, whatever term they give themselves, spiritual, religious, a lot of spiritual people, by the way, are religious. They just don't know it. Because remember, religion isn't to do with the actual name of the religion. It's to do with a state of mind, which is a dogmatic state of mind. So anyway, on the other hand now, if you were abused by this passerby, or if I was abused by this passerby, and I did in my heart reflect what they projected on me in terms of the malice, the hate, or whatever, then I've simply rubbed off their curse. And I've put myself in the same frame as them when it comes to the divine whole. So that's why A lot of bad things happen to good people, actually. I'm sorry to say. You may think you're good, but maybe you're not. Because you see, there is justice in this universe. There is the law of attraction and karma. That is cause and effect. And so if you are a quote unquote good person, yet bad things seem to happen to you, maybe your heart's not right. It's no good being a good person on the outside when on the inside you're not right. Rather, it should be the opposite, if it were at all possible. So you need to really think about that, especially people who like to label themselves a particular religion. They will think that because we are on the good side and everyone else is on the bad side, when the bad side comes and attacks us, this Lord up in the skies, who we cannot see, will come and sort out the job for us and we'll get our justice. Meanwhile, they harbor a resentment in their heart. So that God in the sky is not going to do anything for anyone who holds resentment in the heart. So don't nullify a curse with a curse. Because if you do that, particularly subconsciously, you'll be confused and you will feel like the world is unfair. Yet it is not at all. So always remember that it's your heart, not your outward expression. It's no good being a wussy, a pussy, or a chomp if on the inside you harbor the resentment and hate. Better still, you express that anger and hate on the outside so that it does not remain on the inside. So always remember that. I've got to that good place. I've always fought with my aggression, with my ego. Although relative to others it was quite tamed. But one thing I've always had to practice on is actually feeling sorry for those who oppose me. Feeling sorry for those who spout hate at me. Feeling sorry for those who simply have malice. Because as a non-malicious man, I cannot fathom why somebody would be malicious. But what has helped me? Empathy. And what is empathy? The knowledge that we are one whole, not separate beings through our egos. But I've gone into all of that about the ego and about the divine whole in other videos, so I won't bore you here with that. I just thought I would put that awareness out, that if you are finding tough times with bad people and you think you're a good person, it may be that your heart is correlating with their heart, hence you are getting what they're putting out. So always project a good, peaceful heart. And it's not simple to just say that. You have to be it. You have to embody it. You have to test yourself. What I started doing a lot is actually putting myself out there in the ring. That is allowing my ego to be tested by people. And so that, because I'm a scientist, I like to look at myself as a scientist, and I like to look at life as an experiment. So I do experiments on myself regularly, particularly where it comes to my self-development. So one thing you need to do, if you are really consciously, sincerely trying to awaken yourself and rise on a higher vibration, you need to test yourself. Experiments require tests. So you need to go out into the field, which we call society, and actually test your ego. If you feel that your heart is not allowing you to let go of your ego desires, such as, retaliation. You hit me, so I have to hit you back. Oh, I was treated unfair, so you have to. That's all the trappings of the ego. And yet you can use the ego to benefit your life. Many of us use it to our detriment. So don't nullify a curse with a curse. Otherwise, I told you so. Peace.